Hi, welcome to our channel Good New. Using mobile phones to communicate and view films has become a daily habit for regular people, but more than a decade ago, using mobile phones to video chat with another person or even watch videos was considered a luxury. Mobile phones have evolved from basic phones to smartphones during the last decade. The most significant development is the advancement of communication technologies. We may enjoy better services at a cheaper cost as we progress from 3G to 4G to 5G. However, many individuals may be unaware that 10 years ago, the United States held 26% of the world's 4G patents, while Huawei held only 8%. However, by 2022, when 5G has not yet become widely adopted throughout the world, China's Huawei has reclaimed the top spot with the most 6G patents. As we all know, China has the most developed 5G network in the world. It not only produces the most 5G base stations, but it also has the most number of 5G connection users. So, how did China suddenly overcome the United States and grab the world lead? Please subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell before we begin today's video. In this video, we will compare the development of 4G and 5G in China and the United States. Let's go through that in greater depth. To begin, consider China's and the United States' successes in basic patents in the 4G era. According to authorized figures, Qualcomm ranks top in the world in terms of 4G technology patents, having 14% of the patents, followed by the U.S. businesses InterDigital P and InterDigital T, which possess 13% and 10% of the patents, respectively, and Nokia and Samsung. There are 9% of patents. Huawei and Ericsson both possess 8% of patents, ZTE retains 7%, and Chinese businesses hold only approximately 16% of 4G technology basic patents. Because the majority of 4G technology patents are located in Europe and the United States, mobile phone makers in China face expensive patent costs. At the time, 3.5% of the price of a cell phone was utilized to pay Qualcomm's patent fees. Furthermore, Qualcomm owns the essential patents for 4G technology, necessitating intervention at the Chinese national level, and by mediating discussions between various local mobile phone makers and Qualcomm, the relevant patent costs are eventually decreased. So, how about the quantity of patents held by Chinese firms, and their worldwide importance in the 5G era? According to the China 5G Patent Technology Report, published in April of this year, 176 mobile operators in 70 markets worldwide have commercialized 5G technology. The total number of 5G standard essential patents in the globe reached 64,900 as of December 31, 2021, and the number of 5G standard essential patents announced each year topped 10,000 from 2019 to 2021. According to the amount of corporate apps, Huawei has roughly 6,400, Qualcomm has around 4,500, Samsung has around 4,200, LG has 3,800, ZTE has 3,800, Nokia has around 3,500, and Ericsson has 3,200. Datang in China has 2,200 pieces as well. Surprisingly, Oppo applied for around 2,100 pieces. Overall, Huawei holds almost 14% of valid 5G patents globally, considerably above Qualcomm's 9.8%, Samsung's 9.1%, ZTE's 7.3%, Datang's 4.6%, and Oppo's 4.4%. Furthermore, the total number of 5G critical standard patents held by Chinese firms amounted for more than 31%. The most crucial aspect is that radio access technology and radio access networks are the key innovations of 5G. This is the 5G plan that has received the greatest attention from the Patent Office. However, based on the number of allowed authorizations, Huawei's authorization in RAN accounted for 17.2%, while Huawei's permission in SA accounted for 31.1%. What's intriguing is that Huawei's share in both elements is far higher than the second, if not twice as high. As a result, it is easy to see why European carriers preferred Huawei's 5G services. The reason for this is that Huawei has a slew of 5G wireless access technology improvements that can improve signal service quality. It is therefore easy to understand why the US focuses on supporting the Open RAN networking paradigm, because utilizing the regular 5G network requires them to pay significant patent fees to Huawei. Unfortunately, half a year after the 5G Open RAN technology was touted, news broke in the United States that the local communication operator Cellcom had formally stated that the Open RAN network developed in Wisconsin will be shut down. Cellcom, a U.S. corporation, expressed hopelessly in this regard. The equipment given by the upstream provider Parallel Wireless is too expensive and the cost surpasses our budget, yet the technical result has not fulfilled our expectations. The costs of paying for this lesson are too expensive. More crucially, they have already fallen behind in typical 5G communication building. The United States and its allies have lost billions of dollars merely to remove Huawei equipment. If these enterprises want to make up for this blank time and close the gap with 5G development in other locations, they must pay a higher price and take the effort to find Huawei and get appropriate patent technology authorization. It appears that the West's reliance on Huawei has far beyond our expectations. Is it possible for the United States to re-cooperate with Huawei in the future, given the current state of affairs? In my opinion, the US is unlikely to accept Huawei. And I believe there are 3 reasons for this. To begin with, if the United States approves Huawei, it will provide Huawei with a large platform to demonstrate its capabilities in the United States. Huawei's position in the 5G market is expected to grow in the future. How can the US simply sit back and let Huawei become stronger in the US? Second, the present outbreak in the United States is dire. In the face of such severe economic pressure in the United States may lack financial confidence in supporting Huawei's 5G relaunch in the country. After all, the United States just spent $52 billion on chips. Finally, Huawei is not the sole option for the United States. If the US wants to create 5G, it may also work with Ericsson and Nokia. In conclusion, despite such negative repercussions, the United States is unlikely to embrace Huawei for a long period. However, given the current state of affairs in the United States, Huawei's 5G is the best option. Although the United States wishes to reclaim dominance in the global 5G industry, it lacks the necessary resources. As former Google CEO Eric Schmidt put it, all U.S. telecommunications businesses together cannot match to one Huawei. We will be utterly behind if we continue to detach from Huawei's technologies. In today's world, many areas have maintained close collaboration and a win-win model, but in order to stifle China's high-tech growth, the U.S. has been continually revising the laws, suppressing Huawei and other Chinese enterprises. But I hope that the US will see how vital Huawei's 5G is to the future growth of the US and create international collaboration that is beneficial to both nations and the globe. Thanks for having your watching in this video. You can add your ideas or suggestions below. Please keep following our channel and like our videos.